In today's video, I am going to be breaking down some of the best 5 youth basketball plays that I have seen over the last few years. Some of these will be the 5-out offense, and it is very simple. So definitely, if you're a basketball coach looking for a simple offense, make sure to go check out the complete guide to the 5-out offense that is down in the description below. Now, really quickly, if you like this app where I can draw on it, it's called Playbook. It's also down in the description too. However, in this first play, we are going to start in a high 1-4 offense. How we are going to start is by having player 4 set the screen for player 3, and player 5 is going to be setting the staggered screen for player 3. At this time, when they're setting these screens, player 3 is going to be cutting off and using these screens and then cutting to the basket, while player 1 is going to be passing to player 2. What this is essentially doing is it is allowing player 3's man to ride his back, and then by cutting in and the ball being on this wing, player 2's defender is going to be tight up against him, which means that this pass should almost always be there for that layup. Now, if that pass is not there, let's say player 3 cuts, he was guarded extremely well, he is going to clear out to the opposite side, and then player 5 is going to be setting the screen for player 4, and he is going to curl in, and this will be our second option. Once our second option disappears, he is going to clear out. Player 5 is going to clear out. This could be a drive. This could be a dribble handoff with the 5-out. But either way, we are going to be in the 5-out offense. I like to run the 5-out because here in Canada, we have a 24-second shot clock in high school. And while these are youth plays, I always like to finish with the 5-out. Mainly because if you run through a set play and now the play is dead, no options were available, the offense becomes super stagnated. So if you just teach your team, hey, once you finish a set, go straight into 5-out motion, whatever your motion in the 5-out may be, that is going to absolutely be a deadly killer for most teams because they're like, yeah, we just shut down their offense, and then there's a motion right after. Next, we are going to start in the 5-out for our second play. And in our second play, I really personally love this play. So, this is a set play based out of the 5-out. Player 5 is going to be setting a screen for player 3, and then player 4 and 2 are going to be coming down to set a elevator screen. So player 3 is going to come off of this screen over top. Over top is very important because now his man is going to get stuck on this player 5 screen, and then he is going to shoot through this elevator screen. These two players are going to close on him. Player 1 might want to dribble over, and then this will be a pass. So this is going to look like this. Player 3 goes past 5, through the elevator screen, pops out, catches that ball, and then goes for the shot. The Horns offense is another very popular offense that you can run. You get your bigs in that high post, you get your wings along the corners, you've got your point guard. Personally, I like to run this one with player 1 on one of the sides, either here or here. But what I like to do here is I like to get that pass into player 5, and after that pass has been set, player 5 is going to go for a dribble handoff with player 4, and player 1 is going to be setting the down screen for player 2. So that now, when player 5 sets that dribble handoff and player 4 comes off, we have player 1 rolling to the basket. This is going to be one option. Player 5 is going to be popping to the 3. This is going to be one option. This is another option, and then he could pivot and pass to player 5 depending on how the defense is being played. This only works, however, if you have very coordinated bigs that are a very big threat on getting to the rim. This was ran against me a few times. It worked against me until I switched up my defense. Another fantastic play out of Horns, and you can get the high school Horns playbook down in the description below as well if you coach a high school team, but they will work with middle school too, is a double pin down from players 4 and 5. After that double pin down, player 1 is going to dribble to the right or left side, and this is going to turn into a dribble handoff. So for example, player 3 is going to lift off of that screen, same as player 2. However, player 1 is going to meet him on the wing, and when he meets him on the wing, this is going to be a dribble handoff. We will then have 5 and 4 clear out. When they clear out, player 3, I really want to cut backdoor when player 2 comes off of this dribble handoff, because that backdoor cut is open quite a bit. After that backdoor cut, he can fill out, player 5 can lift, and then we can be in 5 out. Player 2 could have scored. Player 1 could have also rolled as well. There's different options that you can use inside of this offense and just don't have player 3 cutting instead. So instead, player 3 could stay up here. Player 1 and 2 would have come off. Player 1 could have rolled to the basket, in which case then we would be looking for player 1. And in either case, 4 and 1 then rotate, and we are back in our 5 out offense. Now this last one is a play that I've shown on my channel probably 10 years ago, and I never showed it since, and it continues to get ran against me, and I love it. So basically you have 2 guards up top. These are guards, not necessarily a 2 or a 3. These are generally 3 point guards up here, and 2 big centers. So essentially what you are having to deal with is small, quick player, small, quick player, small, quick player, big and slow, big and slow. And what you're basically having is these 2 players setting pin downs for players 5 and 4. 5 and 4 come off, they go to the wings. What you are essentially hoping for is a little bit of a switch. And the switch you're hoping to have happen is a small player guarding a big and a big player guarding a small. So now these guys clear out, they take the big players with them. You now have a tall player who may be slower, but he is bigger and stronger, which means that he can attack the basket if he gets that pass. So when he comes off that pin down, he catches that pass, he can attack the middle, and he can distribute the ball or get to the rim. The other way of running this same exact play is to have a small player, your point guard, big and slow, not necessarily slow, but big and tall. And when they set these pin downs, what you're hoping for is a switch again. So now when they get that post up opportunity, let's say the ball goes to player 2 this time, we can get that ball into the post and we would have a smaller guard playing a big power forward, and that would be a mismatch to the basket. Player 5 would clear, and this would be an isolation situation for player 4. So definitely, if you are a basketball coach, make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense and also the Horns High School Basketball Playbook. And if you're a newer coach, you can also check out the complete guide to coaching youth basketball. These are all down in the description below. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button and subscribe.